Jim, PJ. You see anything? Hear anything?
Bastards would have come in on foot.
They must have been disturbed. They didn't touch the bike. Anything else?
Just a car.
Jim's been working on this for years. Starting up again, isn't it? Why? Why after 14 years?
You've been hanging around. Anybody drop by at all?
Our friends we have in Mount Thomas, you could count on one hand. Everyone else steers well clear. It's bad blood, you know.
Appreciate the lift, PJ.
Not a problem. Libby okay on her own?
She's got the shotty. Relax. You cowards anyhow. I'm not game to face you one-to-one. How long you had that knocking in the tail shaft?
Eh? Well, what knocking?
Your centre bearing's gone.
Yeah?
We don't want any trouble, PJ.
It's okay, Jimbo. I've been known to be discreet.
Oh, no! Bastards!
This really sucks. The place has been trashed.
I've checked up and down the street. Nobody seems to have seen or heard anything.
Yeah, country air makes you sleep real soundly, doesn't it? Any graffiti?
Nah, why?
Look, don't worry about the car, mate.
No way, PJ. I'll have it ready for you by 5.
Listen, PJ, have you got any idea?
I've just been over to Sutcliffe's garage. Place has been trashed.
Well, I've got a good idea why.
So much for being discreet.
Somebody's going to have a word with Wendy.
Look, I'll
do it. I'll be back in a minute. I'm just going up the road to have a talk to the rules.
Right, miss.
G'day, Bernard.
Tom?
Wendy about?
She's just run over to Mrs. Rivers on a delivery.
Ah.
What's up?
You seen the Gazette this morning by any chance? Can you and Wendy drop down to the station as soon as she gets back?
It's not right, Tom. It's not right.
As soon as she gets back, mate.
Here we are, Maggie. Clive Royce Ostroff.
Right, well, that was 14 years ago, which makes him in his mid-50s by now.
Yeah. Victim was Rebecca Charlotte Rees, 9 years old. Disappeared on her way home from school.
Body discovered 2 days later, face down in a ditch.
God.
Mount Thomas police charged a local odd job man, Clive Ostroff, and the arrest was made by Senior Constable Tom Croydon. Not homicide.
Well, says Tom made the arrest. Trial was moved to Yea. Guess they were afraid he'd be lynched by the locals.
Yeah, he was given a life sentence and he was out in 14 years.
Should have hung him.
Do yourself a favour, Ross. Hanged. Me just hung, men are hanged. No, don't approach him. We'll be over there in a minute. Okay, sorry.
There's no mention of a sexual assault. He apparently killed her for no reason. He just pleaded guilty. It's very odd.
Did you find out anything about the Sutcliffe garage, Constable Patterson?
No, boss. It could have been kids, vandalism. There doesn't seem to be a motive behind it.
Oh, there's a motive, all right. Sutcliffe's wife, Lee, is Ostroff's daughter. 14 years ago, half the town wanted to run the whole family out. This little article's probably stirred it all up again.
Oh, well, I'll just interview half the town then.
No, check the files. Find out the ringleaders and talk to them and their offspring. You two can give him a hand.
Hello?
Tell your father we haven't forgotten what he did. The sins of the father shall pass on to you.
Well, it's not good enough, mate. You must have heard about this days ago, and I get to read about it in the bloody newspaper. We do have telephones up here, you know.
I'm an Australian citizen.
Look, a bit of advance warning wouldn't have gone astray, Ted. People in Mount Thomas have got long memories.
Look, I've got rights. I've got rights to come and go...
What's going on?
...without being attacked by coppers.
He broke into Turner's truck and then he decided to wrestle with me.
I was minding my business. It's police brutality, man.
Will you get off my desk, please? Wayne, can you charge him?
Me?
Yes, mate, I'll have to go home and get cleaned up because this is quite unhygienic.
What about my right to a shower and...
You shut your silly bloody mouth, will you?
You get him cleaned up and you charge him with breaking and entering.
I was only looking in the truck. I wasn't...
And you can add resisting arrest to that, all right?
Righto. Hey, mate. You scratch my nose. It's driving me crazy.
Mate, I'm not scratching you or anything. Come on.
Hell, look, I want a lawyer. I want a shower. And I want a cigarette.
Yeah, I remember Ostroff coming in here. He used to sit by himself over there in the corner. Never trust a bloke that drinks alone. We should have fixed him there.
Take him out and shoot him, eh, Howard?
You shoot a ball with anthrax, same diff.
Yeah, well, I remember him too, and it's never that black and white.
Yeah? Well, I went to school with Becky Reese and she was real popular, but, Lee was like her old man, something peculiar about her, you know? Never fitted in.
Any of you blokes know anything about Jim Sutcliffe's workshop being trashed? No? What about a splash of paint on his car? Don't worry. We'll find out who's responsible.
Yeah, well, that'd be right. Lock up someone who's just doing what you lot should have done.
And how do you work that one out, Ken?
They ought to have brought back the death penalty for Ostroff. Instead, these blokes let him out after 14 lousy years.
The parole board released him, mate.
Yeah, and what if he heads back here, eh? You want a child killer walking around our streets?
Here.
Yeah.
No one says he's coming back to Mount Thomas, Kenny.
He's got a daughter here, hasn't he?
Yeah, what about that, PJ?
Stop doing this. Leave me alone.
Lee, it's me, Chris.
Sorry, Chris. I thought it was someone else.
Look, listen, love, I just heard. If there's anything I can do, or if you want to thrash it out with someone, you just give me a hoy, okay?
Chris, he wouldn't come back, would he? Why would he? I was the one that got him caught. He must hate me for what I've done to him.
He murdered my Rebecca. The judge said life. He said life.
I know.
So? How can this happen, Tom? How can this happen?
Good behaviour, model prisoners.
He murdered my Rebecca.
Sweetheart, there's no point
Then
going...
he threw her in a ditch like a piece of garbage. My Becky will never come home again. You talk about good behaviour. You talk about a model prisoner. Her father and I... It destroyed our marriage, Tom. And now, after all these years, with Bernard's help and a new surname, it's finally getting to the stage where I can actually go a whole week without being pointed out in the street. And now... isn't a day that goes by where I don't think about my little girl. It's not a birthday, a Christmas, where I don't remember. He can start again, but I have to live with this for the rest of my life.
When did you find out Ostroff was being released? I have to ask, Wendy. The Sutcliffes are being subjected to a campaign of terror again.
If they'd left after he killed her.
Lise Sutcliffe was your daughter's age when it happened. She was in the same class. She's not responsible, Wendy.
Well, she'll be responsible if he comes back, won't she?
I tell you, if that bastard shows his face in Mount Thomas, I'll take a bloody knife to him.
Yeah, well, you'd be standing in line, mate.
Yeah.
Do you have anything better to do? Are you on holidays or what?
Look, how's anybody supposed to work today? Cops are more worried about a bit of damage to a lousy garage than Becky's killer getting out.
Frankenstein's daughter.
Oh, dry up, Howard.
Hey, Lee, if your old man
Both
turns
of
up...
you, shut up.
Is it okay to wait here till Jim finishes?
Yeah.
Well, Mrs. Rivers says her little Ken was home all night.
Oh, and I suppose she didn't know Ostroff was getting out this morning either, right?
Got it in one. You know, little Becky used to play around Ken's place a lot. And Mrs. Rivers and Wendy are about as tight as sisters. I reckon she hates Ostroff as much as Becky's own mum.
PJ, at least 2 of the self-appointed lynching party at Ostroff's trial are dead. Another 4 have left town, which leaves about 30 who made threats at the time.
There should be a special place in hell for Ostroff.
You know, I just wish everybody would stop treating us as though we're the ones who've let him out.
As far as they're concerned, Mag, we're part of the same justice system. Tough.
If I was Becky's mother, I wouldn't be too happy with the system either.
How'd you go?
Guess who's coming to dinner?
When?
Tomorrow's train. Ostroff's parole conditions only require him to report in once a week. There's nothing to stop him from coming here.
Lovely. Just what I wanted to hear. And I've just had a litany of home truths from Wendy Rule.
Yeah. How are they taking it? Look, I don't want anyone taking this out on Jim and Lee, but anyone who snuffs a kid gives up the right to be treated as a member of the human race.
They reckon Ostroff was a model prisoner.
Yes, so was Rudolph Hess, but when it comes to child killers, the only model prisoner
Is a dead one, yes, I know. Well, it's not quite that easy in this case. The truth is, they move people like Ostroff out to make room for the next crop.
Rope's cheap, and there's plenty of space 6 feet underground.
Why is he going back? What's he hope to achieve?
I don't know. Get back at you for thumping him around a bit.
More than a bit.
Pity you didn't finish the job.
Look, it might surprise you to know I'm not particularly proud of that little episode in my career. Anyone else know he's headed this way?
No. Not that I know of.
Good.
Feeling better?
I had another call after you rang last night. Man this time. No name, of course. Guess I should be used to it, huh?
What'd he say?
Same old things. Threats against my father, threats against... It's not fair on Jim, Chris. He wasn't even around then.
Jim's tough. He can cope with it.
Chris, do you believe that the bad blood can be passed on to the children from their parents?
Oh, Lee. You were a little girl then. You didn't do anything wrong.
They hated me then, too. Maybe because they knew I had bad blood.
Who hated you?
Becky. Ken Rivers. All of them.
Children can be cruel at that age.
They can be cruel now, too.
Look, I think you should tell Sergeant Croydon about these phone calls.
No, not Sergeant Croydon. He hated Dad more than any of them.
Well, PJ then.
No. It's not worth it, Chris. Let it be. That's what Jim always reckons.
Lee, you don't have to put up with this just because you're Clive Ostroff's daughter.
I'm not going to make a complaint.
Some reporter from the Gazette just phoned. Wanted to know how I felt about Ostroff coming back to Mount Thomas. Is it true?
Unfortunately, yes.
You knew?
Wendy, if I could stop him, I would. I can't think of anything to say that's going to make you feel any better. But I promise you, if I can keep him out of town, then I will. I'd just appreciate it if we can keep quiet about it for the time being, just till I can work something out.
Just who are you protecting, Tom? Him? The Sutcliffes?
I'm trying to protect everyone from further hurt.
Well, you're 14 years too late.
The prisoner, Babineau, he's refusing to put on the clothes that Wayne gave him.
And what do you want us to do about it?
Talk to Mrs. Jeffries for a start. She's the one who gave him lunch. Interacting with naked men is not part of my duty.
Yes.
PJ here. He wanted to see us.
Yeah, you know the way, Jim.
You must be able to
Look,
stop.
Jim, we can scream our heads off, mate, but we don't have a lot of clout with the parole board. Now, he's getting here tomorrow morning.
You can't stop him.
Well, I was hoping you might have some ideas. I take it he hasn't tried to contact you.
Oh, of course not.
And you've got no idea why he's coming here? Or how we might change his mind?
Take him out the back and punch his lights out.
Jim,
You're not
don't.
going to punch anyone's lights out, Jim.
Too right, mate, because if Ostroff shows his face in Mount Thomas, I'll blow his damn head
Don't
off.
even joke about it, mate.
Hell, do you know what Lee's been through? What it's like to be the daughter of a child murderer?
I know.
No, you don't know shit from Clay, mate. She's been the unsung victim of this whole disaster. Sure, the whole town felt sorry for Becky and gave Wendy every support. That was great. But who was there to support Lee? It finally killed her mum and she's been on her own since she was 7.
Please! Please stop it. PJ, is it possible he isn't coming to see me at all? But that he's coming here to settle something else?
With Tommy, mate. I don't know. You know him better than I do.
I thought I did when I was a kid.
And you've got no way of contacting him.
Oh, what do you think? Come on, love, let's go.
Look, listen, I'm really sorry that I couldn't help you anymore.
Yeah. If you want your car, you better come and collect it. I'm closing down for the afternoon.
Hey, Bernie. Wendy's been on to me mum and she reckons Ostroff's coming back tomorrow.
I wish Wendy hadn't have done that.
She reckons the cops can't stop him either.
Stop him, mate. Should have stopped him 14 bloody years ago.
Look, Wendy and I are as angry about this as anybody, but capital punishment isn't the answer.
At least to keep blokes like Ostroff off the streets.
Killing is simply wrong, no matter how you justify...
of all people, Bernie, I can't believe you're defending
I'm not
this guy.
defending Ostroff, but you blokes get a couple of sherbets under your belt and you start acting like a lynch mob.
Look, Mum reckons there won't be a kid safe on the streets with him around.
I want to collect the combi.
I haven't had a chance to finish it yet, Mrs. Rivers.
Doesn't matter. I'll make other arrangements.
That's the third one today. You blokes did a real good job of keeping a lid on this.
Why'd you start running?
Felt like it. It's good for the heart. A lot of people go jogging in the mornings. Is there a law against it?
Why didn't you stop when I told you to?
Why should I?
Because I'm a police officer, Rainey. And the law carries a heavy bias in favour of you stopping. In other words, you're on the losing side, mate.
I want a lawyer. And a cigarette. And I ain't wearing this rubbish.
Boss wants a meeting.
What are we going to do with this babinude?
Oh! Jeez!
All right, I suppose you all know we've got a situation here that could turn very nasty sometime in the next 24 hours or so. Ostroff's due to arrive in Mount Thomas on tomorrow's train from Melbourne.
We can't stop him.
Well, not legally, but I am open to suggestions.
Well, we can't stop him from seeing his daughter.
We don't know why he's coming back. But Lee's been stuck in the middle from the start. On the one hand, Ostroff's her father, and they were very close before the murder. On the other hand, she's also the one who gave us the evidence that led to his arrest.
So you think she's in danger?
The whole town's in danger, unless we're very careful. No, Ostroff's the B problem. The A problem is the amount of bad feeling that's already resurfacing in the town itself. Chris reckons there's already a lot of ugly talk over at the pub. Apparently everyone's got an opinion. Add a gut full of alcohol to the equation. You don't have to be Einstein to realise the potential for trouble. So, number one, no personal opinions are to be aired outside this station. Number two, I want us to maintain a high profile for the next 24 hours, especially in the pubs. Don't interfere with anyone unless you have to. The punters are allowed to let off steam. But I want us to stop anything that looks like it could turn into a tar and feather committee.
So what happens tomorrow morning when Ostroff gets off the train?
I'll worry about that when the time comes. At the moment, all I'm concerned about is tonight.
Jim was the only one in this town to give me a job. He's a good mate. So if I ever find out one of your lot trashed his place, you'll have me to deal with.
Yeah, but there's got to be something wrong with the bloke who marries into a child. Shh.
I think you've had enough for tonight, Kenny.
Yep. Starts with the cops. As long as they make their arrest, they don't care what happens after. As long as they get their mugs in the papers.
Mr. Babineau, isn't it? Enjoying your brief stay in Mount Thomas?
Got a right to be here.
Great thing about the country is the night sky. Something no tourist should miss. I think you should check it out.
I don't want to check it out.
Oh, I insist, Mr. Babineau.
Haven't finished my drink yet. Bugger the lot of yous!
Man himself. Now Tom knows how to treat a child killer, eh? What do you do when Ostroff turns up again? Kick the shit out of him? Should have seen the bastard when Tom had finished with him. You did what we all wanted you to do, mate.
Howard, has your brain ever had a thought your mouth couldn't use?
What do you mean, Tom?
I mean, there's a nice quiet table over there in the corner where I think you'd be much more comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, mate, I'll just go and sit down for a spell.
Still here.
Everything quiet?
Yeah.
These were used in evidence at the Ostroff trial.
I see.
What, no questions? Not even after what you've heard at the pub?
Did you beat a confession out of him?
I didn't need to. He admitted everything as soon as I fronted him. I was a senior constable back then. Homicide were running the show. But when Lee helped me connect the tyre prints with her father, I felt I was the one who should bring him in.
And he resisted arrest.
No, in fact, he seemed relieved to have it all out in the open.
Then why the assault?
I knew the Reeses pretty well. My kids went to the same school as Becky. A bit older, of course. Ostroff, I didn't know all that well. He and his family kept pretty much to themselves.
You were personally involved. You should have let homicide deal with it.
We're off duty now, Doyle. And too right I was personally involved. I kept seeing her little body tossed in that ditch like a... I was angry like everybody else, all right? Get it off your chest, Maggie. It's better than festering away inside. There's been enough of that already.
There are a lot of people in this town who still remember what you did to Ostroff. If a cop can do it, why can't they?
Go on.
To the Ken Rivers and Howards of this world, you're a hero. And I think you're inflaming the situation because of your past history with Ostroff.
I can't wind back the clock, Maggie. I'm not even certain that I want to. But you're right about me and Ostroff. It started with us, and I think that's the way it's going to have to finish.
Mount Thomas Police. Now, slow down. Who?
I told Jim. I told him not to come in. I told him to stay away.
I never even touched him. No talking.
Want a cigarette?
I said no bloody talking. Right, what's all this?
Boss, Jim Sutcliffe's in hospital. He's got a deep wound just above the right kidney. They reckon it's serious but not critical.
Any sign of a weapon yet?
Nah, but we haven't had a chance to do a proper search.
OK, you and Maggie go and do that now. Good. Is this all of them?
Yeah, according to Dino.
OK, you two take care of these turkeys. I've got an errand to run.
Right, Howard, you're the first. Go on through that room.
What's happened? Where's Jim?
There's been a fight. He's been taken to hospital.
It was Ken's idea. We just wanted to have a yarn to Jim about this Ostroff business.
A yarn?
We figured, Ken figured, that if anyone could get Ostroff to piss off, it'd be his daughter.
So he went round there to rough Jim up to scare Lee Sutcliffe into doing something about her father?
No, God's truth. We just want to have a chat. And then before you knew it, everyone's pushing and shoving.
You said you didn't see anything.
That's right.
So before you were struck down with his blindness, Howard, where were you in relation to Jim before he hit the deck?
I would have been somewhere about here.
Good on you, Howard, because that puts you in a perfect position to see who's standing directly behind Jim.
Might have been that weird bloke. That stranger what started it.
Hmm? Babineau? Rainy Babineau?
If you say so. It's a funny thing, though, he sure as hell didn't come in with us. I mean, where the devil he pop up from?
Don't touch the desk. Go on, Dino.
Babineau.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Was he with the others when they came in?
No, he wasn't, come to think of it. But he was there when the shoving started.
You didn't see a weapon?
No. But he was closest to Jim.
Not Babineau.
Whatever his name is.
Now, why would a complete stranger want to stab Jim?
He's a nutter.
But he wasn't shooting his mouth off about Jim Sutcliffe being married to a child killer's daughter.
And he wasn't best friends with Becky Reeves when he was a kid.
Look, I admit I did over the Sutcliffe place the other night. But that was as far as it went, I swear.
You found found anything yet?
Not yet. Wayne, over here.
We now have 4 separate statements that place you directly behind Mr. Sutcliffe before he went down.
Well, then you got 4 separate liars. You see, I was just trying to find a place to sleep it off, all right? The garage was easy to break into. I mean, it looked like someone had been there before anyway. So then I passed out. Then when I came to, there were all these blokes pushing, yelling at each other.
And then you got into the act, right?
Yeah, I was going to stay put till some bloke fell on top of me. I tried to get the hell out of there, and next thing you know, there's this bloke lying on the ground. He's bleeding.
PJ still at it?
I didn't do it, and you just can't prove I did.
PJ?
Pretty sick town here, you know that. They're all loony. Never seen it before.
No?
No.
You slept in the garage last night, right?
So?
Oh, funny thing about sticky blood. Holds fingerprints.
Yeah, well, good. That'll prove I never touched it.
BJ, you got him in? I've got a meeting at the train station in about 20 minutes.
Well, how are you going to handle Ostroff?
I'm going to get him to change his mind.
I think I should go, boss.
This is between Ostroff and me.
That's what I mean.
What do you think I'm going to take him out beyond the
I'm
station?
just saying that in view of everything,
It's not up for discussion, PJ.
G'day, Tom.
Clive Ostroff?
I guess you'd like a quiet word.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should.
Lee, I'm really sorry about all this. It'll be okay. Jim's tough. He'll be back on his feet before you know it.
She's going to stay here for a while until things settle down.
Chris, it just got out of hand. They never really meant to hurt him.
Lee? Dad always thought I was beautiful.
Sorry?
So does Jim. 2 people in my life who thought I was really beautiful.
Oh, Lee.
I was going to leave Mount Thomas for Jim's sake. But now maybe Wendy and Ken and the others will leave us alone. We're sort of even.
I don't bear you any grudge, Tom. I deserved it. Anyway, it was nothing to what they had for me inside.
Gave you a pretty rough time, did they?
I'm not fishing for sympathy, mate. I mean, here I am saying I don't bear you a grudge like you need to be forgiven for something. I know it buggered your career.
Realised I'd never make superintendent. Then I mightn't have stayed in Mount Thomas, so maybe you did me a favour. Why'd you come back here, Clive?
Oh, I guess I thought it'd be some sort of completion. See, when they moved the trial out of town, I mean, I did a hideous thing, Tom. And the people here in Mount Thomas, they had a right, they had a need to...
To what? Pelch you with eggs going to the courthouse, drawing quarter you in the main street?
I gave up my right to live when I killed Becky Rees. And you should have done me a favour, mate, and really finished me off 14 years ago. Look, they couldn't even do the job properly inside.
So you've come back hoping someone here will end it for you. Well, I'm not going to let that happen. Your coming back's caused enough trouble.
Lee. How's Lee?
She's managed to pick up the pieces like everybody else. News of your parole was a smack in the face.
Yeah.
No one else knows you're in town yet. I think it'd be a real good idea to keep it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. I suppose it was stupid thinking I could come back here and... Look, what I'm trying to tell you, Tom, trying to tell someone, is that after 14 years of thinking about it and dreaming about it, Lee copped a lot when she was little. Some of the other kids, they made a life of misery. Kids are like that, I suppose. But she always toughed it out, you know. She's a real little trooper. But sometimes I'd hear her crying late at night. I'd hear her crying. And that broke my heart.
She's still a real trooper, Clive.
Yeah, I wish I knew, but I don't. I wish I could explain it to somebody, but I can't. Something took over. It was just monstrous and evil. And I just snapped. You know what I mean, Tom?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And all I know now, all I can say now with any certainty, is that whatever it was, it died along with Becky Rees. And it could never, ever happen again. And I am just so awfully sorry.
Mate, there's a train back to Melbourne in about 20 minutes. I think the kindest thing you could do for everybody is be on it.
Yeah, Chrissy, g'day, it's PJ. Maggie just rang from the hospital. Yeah. You can tell Lee's out of danger. Let me ring you back.
Go on, mate, take a seat.
Dinner?
I can't let you arrest the wrong man, PJ.
What's going on, mate?
It was just a stupid accident. That guy Babineau came up behind Jim and started shoving him. I had a screwdriver in my hand. I just meant to give him a little jab. And then Jim fell back.
It's okay, Dino. I get the picture.
Next train departing from platform 1 is for Melbourne via St David's.
much we had to pay for what he did? Did you tell him he's responsible for Jim almost dying?
I didn't think there was any need.
You're not feeling sorry for him?
I feel sorry for what this has done to a lot of people, including myself. But the hatred has to stop sometime, Lee.
Tell that to Becky's mother and the rest of them.
I think they're doing quite a lot of thinking themselves right now.
Why? Why did he do it?
This is where you can reach your father if you want to.
You see anything? Hear anything?
Bastards would have come in on foot.
Oh, they must have been disturbed. They didn't touch the bike. Anything else?
Just a car.
Jim's been working on this for years. It's starting up again, isn't it? Why after 14 years?
You've been hanging around. Anybody drop by at all?
Now, friends we have in Mount Thomas, you could count on one hand. Everyone else steers well clear. It's bad blood, you know.
Appreciate the lift, PJ.
Not a problem. Lee be okay on her own?
She's got the shotty. Relax. You cowards anyhow. I'm not game to face you one-to-one. How long you had that knocking in the tail shaft?
Eh? Well, what knocking?
Your centre bearing's gone.
Yeah?
We don't want any trouble, PJ.
It's okay, Jimbo. I've been known to be discreet.
Oh, no! Bastards!
This really sucks. The place has been trashed.
I've checked up and down the street. Nobody seems to have seen or heard anything.
Yeah, country air makes you sleep real soundly, doesn't it? Any graffiti?
Nah, why?
Look, don't worry about the car, mate.
No way, PJ. I'll have it ready for you by 5.
Listen, PJ, have you got any idea?
I've just been over to Sutcliffe's garage. Place has been trashed.
Well, I've got a good idea why.
So much for being discreet.
Somebody's going to have a word with Wendy.
Look, I'll
do it. I'll be back in a minute. I'm just going up the road to have a talk to the rules.
Right, miss.
G'day, Bernard.
Tom?
Wendy about?
She's just run over to Mrs. Rivers on a delivery. What's up?
You seen the Gazette this morning by any chance? Can you and Wendy drop down to the station as soon as she gets back?
It's not right, Tom. It's not right.
As soon as she gets back, mate.
Here we are, Maggie. Clive Royce Ostroff.
Right. Well, that was 14 years ago, which makes him in his mid-50s by now.
Yeah. Victim was Rebecca Charlotte Rees, 9 years old. Disappeared on her way home from school.
Body discovered 2 days later, face down in a ditch.
God.
Mount Thomas police charged a local odd job man, Clive Ostroff, and the arrest was made by Senior Constable Tom Croydon.